Okay, so for today's discussion for HRMEL 102, we will dive into the fundamentals of project management um, for a moment. So, imagine managing the expansion of telecom towers for a company like Globe Telecom. So, here we are going to tackle the process groups na aspect, the initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, closing, in the example of Globe Telecom Towers expansion project. So such project required structured planning and as well as execution. So with this introduction for project management, let's explore the structured process groups. So initiation phase. So we have feasibility, project proposal. So if we talk about feasibility, it examines project viability, while project proposal contains goals, scope, and also stakeholders. So in the initiation phase, think of Jollibee deciding to expand internationally. So they start by asking, is this feasible ba na kailangan dyan na mag-expand, or if they're going to expand internationally, mag-click kaya din siya na kind of business. So who will help implement it ang ilahang pag-expand internationally. So, this ensures a strong foundation before mo-proceed sila into a further expansion globally. So, in the definition phase naman, we have requirements specification, stakeholder expectation, and with this, sa requirement specification, detailed deliverables and expectation, ang ato ang kailangan i-achieve, while sa stakeholder expectation, we have to align all parties to the project goal. So in this phase, let's put Ayala Land as our example, ensures sustainability, diba? It targets a clear, specified na mga specification in order for them to avoid mga different conflicts. So, setting clear deliverables early will help align our stakeholders' expectation and project na mga success. Sa design phase naman, we have prototypes, so early models or mga sketches, definitive na design, final design selection. So, the design phase will bring ideas to life visually. So, for example, San Miguel Corporation, like their airport project will involve mga design prototypes in order to redefine refining it based on public and expert mga feedback, ensuring clarity and also alignment. And then we have development phase. We have scheduling, like timeline creation, resource allocation, assigning tools, materials, and staff. So, this phase will ensure everything is ready for implementation. So, think of SM Supermalls organizing renovation schedules to minimize disruption while nag-maximize pud sila sa ilahang efficiency. So, a good schedule avoids unnecessary na mga delays sa ilahang mga projects. Implementation phase naman, we have execution and team collaboration. If we talk about execution, the construction or coding, sa team collaboration, mga coordination, effort to meet goals. So, implementation is where the action will happen. Imagine Manila Water or Davao Water District ng mga team, especially on-site ng mga team, will ensure better water na access. So, it is a collaborative effort where every member will play a crucial role sa pag-implement sa ilahang mga actions. While sa follow-up phase naman, we have evaluation and user training. Sa evaluation, it assess result against plan. User training, hand over mga activities like training and even manuals. So, for example, we have Meralco's training for smart meter users. So, follow-up activities include evaluation, training, and user support. So, ang Meralco Manggod will ensure mga smart meter adoption by training users and also setting up support system for any issues na dali na lang gud basahon sa mga consumers or sa ilahang clients ang metro sa ilahang sa ilahang kuryente, unlike dati nga i-calculate pa na ito mano-mano. And lastly is the challenges na ma-encounter nato sa project management. So, naato dara resource constraint and misaligned expectation. So, sa resource constraint like budget or mga staff limitations na to, sa misaligned expectation, communication gaps, causing mga delays. So, projects don't always go smoothly. Na dyan tayo mga circumstances na maka-face to mga challenges or problems sa to ang mga different projects. So, misaligned expectation or even resource constraints can derail our progress. So, for example, mga small construction firms, they often face costly delays when design approvals are unclear. Like, dagan kay kagpapirmahan, di din maaprubahan ng imong design na gipanghatag sa mga designated na mga personnels. So, for week 3 naman, introduction to the project environment. So, the project environment encompasses internal and external factors influencing the success. So, we have the stakeholders, cultural surroundings. So, stakeholders, individuals, or groups whose interests are impacted by the project's outcome, while sa cultural surroundings naman, social norms and behaviors affecting project executions. So, for example, Ayala Corporation, this company ensures sustainability in its projects, addressing mga ecological concerns, and even they have to meet stakeholder expectations. So, this kind of proactive approach will mitigate risk and as well as improve ang outcome sa project. So, dimension of the project environment. We have time environment, internal project culture, corporate culture, external na social surroundings. So, effective project management requires balancing time constraint and even internal dynamics, and not just internal dynamics but also external na mga pressures. So, San Miguel Corporation, for instance, consults local communities during ilahang project planning to address if unsa ba jud ang ilahang pangangailangan in order for the company to avoid also the delay of their projects. At least na-meet nila ang expectations sa ilahang stakeholders. Then, causes and management of conflicts. So, sa sources of conflicts, we have schedules, resource competition, cultural differences, personality clashes, conflict naman sa management, mga techniques to resolve disagreements within the company, including problem solving and pag-compromise po sa kagustuhan sila mga empleyado. So, conflict is inevitable. In short, dili jud siya maiwasan sa different kind of projects. But, effective management can turn it into an opportunity for growth. For example, sa Jollibee. Jollibee avoids delays in store openings. So, with this, it address mga resource competition early, and it should align also sa ilahang pag-operate. So, with that, maiwasan ni Jollibee ang mga different delays sa pag-open sa ilahang store. Kaya dapat kumpleto man jud ang mga resources na to in order for the competitors nga dili ni siya makit-an as a opportunity nga matakluban ang pag-prosper ni Jollibee, kumbaga. And then, cultural differences in project management. So, we have cultural awareness, understanding and respecting different cultural norms, and we also have cross-cultural communication, adapting communication styles to suit diverse teams. So, managing cultural differences is very, 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 very important in global projects. Global telecom, not global, sorry for that. Globe Telecom, for instance, provide cultural sensitivity training to its teams, fostering inclusivity, and also with this kind of training, it ensures seamless collaboration across diverse groups. What is the role of the stakeholders? So we have active and the passive. So sa active stakeholder, these are the project team, customers, and even managers directly involved. We also have passive mga stakeholders. We have the authorities, competitors, and indirectly affected na mga individuals. So stakeholders management is about understanding interests and even their expectations. So for instance, PLDT actively collaborates with regulatory authorities and even their customers during network expansion in order for this company to achieve alignment between their stakeholders. And then we also have managing project conflicts from personalities. So personality conflict, disagreements arising from individual traits and interpersonal issues. So we have team cohesion, building trust, and cooperation among team members. So personality clashes can also have an effect to our projects, especially if dili dayon nato na-address ni siya na kind of problem. So Ayala Land, for example, this company mitigates this through team building ng mga activities. Even other companies also, actually kapag na ay mga ano ng mga problem na mga team cohesion, team building dyan na ang ilahang mga activities. This kind of activity manggod will ensure members collaborate effectively and align with their project goals. So conflict resolution techniques, so we have different techniques. So at least diri ma-learn ninyo kung paano ninyo i-handle ang mga conflicts sa mga companies. So forcing, compromising, and problem solving. So sa forcing, imposing a solution for quick resolution. Sa compromising naman, finding a middle ground where both parties partially win. Kanang win-win situation, both parties walay mo uli nga gahilak kay wala na compromise ang iyang kagustuhan. And then problem solving, identifying root causes and achieving a win-win outcome. So resolving conflicts require strategic na approach. For example, sa Meralco nga company, Meralco combines compromise and also problem solving. So with this, it helps to address resource issues during like energy upgrades ba, ensuring minimal disruption ba in terms of pasweldo, benefits, or whatever na kailangan sa internal na aspect sa iyang mga empleyado or external aspect sa iyang mga clients. So for the conclusion for our discussion for today, managing the project environment effectively requires proactive na planning and continuous na improvement. So, again, if we talk about proactive planning, we have to anticipate and address challenges agad-agad. Continuous improvement, ongoing Japon atong evaluation and enhancement of processes. So, companies like San Miguel Corporation exemplify this kind of principles, achieving sustained success through their strategic planning and even adoption of this kind of planning and improvement aspects sa lahang company. So thank you so much for listening to our short discussion about our topics for the HRML 102. I hope you learned a lot for our week 2 and week 3. So thank you so much and see you on our next meeting for the discussion of our week 4. So thank you and God bless.